Good afternoon. Welcome to the Tuesday, July 21st meeting of the Dublin Exchange Club. It's great to see everyone out there today. Special day for Exchange, and we're very, very excited to be able to give away some awards through our foundation today. We begin every meeting with a prayer request that we may need to mention. So I'll open the floor if anyone has anybody we need to specifically mention and remember today. Yes, Coach Jimmy Fields, I was going to mention him. Most of you know him, the Trinity head football coach. He's battling ALS, going through a very, very tough time. In fact, I think they've actually set up a GoFundMe page to help with his medical expenses. So most of you know him, really great guy. He's keeping a very positive attitude through this whole situation. But remember Coach Fields and his family, and we can get a link out to anyone who may want to help contribute with that. Anyone else? Yeah, we've been mentioning Rennie Cordell for a while, so remember her family and her passing. Anyone else? All right, Exchange Club, we always we remember our military, our country, our government. Let's remember our first responders, our police, our fire, all those out there, nurses, doctors on the front lines as we continue to battle this virus and everything else and all the unrest that's going on in our country. Our country needs special prayer, and I think we need to band together and come together and do that. And again, just an exciting day today. Exchange Club every year, and I'm not going to steal the thunder of the foundation that's going to come up in a moment, but every year, normally through our pancake supper, we raise funds to be able to do this. As many of you know, we weren't able to have that this year, but hold your breath on that. We're trying to see if we can come up with some solutions to be able to do that, but we are still very honored to be able to give these awards today. So without further ado, we're going to move right into our program, and I'm going to bring up the Exchange Charitable Foundation President this year, Darren King, to kick us off.
Thank you, Jason. I want to welcome everybody here. We're very grateful to all of our members who are here, guests, and of course our special guests. Today is a great day. This is why we do what we do. I've served on the foundation for 3 years, and it has been an honor, but it's also been a blessing. I think we've learned of so many ways that we can help and so many needs, and Roger and I were talking last year. I know, speaking for myself, I've lived a sheltered life, and I'm very grateful for God's blessings, and I take those for granted. But I want to give you a little history and timeline of the foundation. In 1992, a long-range planning committee was formed, and the committee polled the club and decided to accrue enough funds to allow the club each year to give scholarships worthy local youth by using the interest from those funds. In 1993, the first scholarship was awarded. And then sometime 1999-2000, a resolution was passed to protect the principal and only use the interest. And we have been blessed to do that ever since 2000. In February 2005, the Charitable Foundation was formed under the 501(c) corporation. This way, the foundation has a board, selects individuals for scholarships as well as organizations for monetary awards, and the awards are given each year. These awards are scholarships and contributions to organizations to be used in the advancement of higher education, prevention of child abuse, and any other charitable activity or group that's deemed worthy by the board of directors. And I'm happy to announce, and I know Gene's the accountant, and he could help us with this probably, but we're getting close, if we hadn't already got there, of $250,000 in contributions, and that's pretty strong. And I'm happy to be a part of that. To tell you a little bit about the board of directors, it consists of 9 individuals who are members in good standing with the Exchange Club. At least 3 of those members at all time will be past presidents of the Exchange Club. Each year, 3 new members come on the board and 3 members roll off. So each person does a 3-year term. So I want to tell you who the board of directors were this year. Brad Skeeter served as secretary. Gene Crafton served as treasurer. The board of directors, Matthew Bradshaw, John Mark Butler, Justin Garrett, Chuck Harwell, Ben Knight, and Roger Miller. Now Chuck is responsible for helping line up all the organizations that are here today. He gathered the applications and brought them to us, so he did the legwork for us. And also, when I was looking at the resolution that was passed in '99, Chuck signed it as the president. So it goes a way back. And we were talking about hair loss a while ago. Did you have more hair in 19? Okay, thank you. Well, you had a lot of hair when you was 15. But I do want to say, and I want to say thank you to Sam Bell, who was the president last year. I learned a lot from him. And last year we did a lot of work through email and digital communication. And little did we know how important that would be this year, because we just about did everything through emails because we had to. It's a great group of guys. Everybody worked well together. And what I want to say is that we've got 5 outstanding organizations here today. I am familiar with just about all of them. I learned a lot about River of Life here at lunch. And I know that every leader is passionate about what they do. I know that personally. And I want to challenge us, me included. It's going to be hard for them to come up here and give a brief talk. Some of them may not want to give a talk, but it's going to be hard for them to put their passion in a 2 or 3 minute talk. So let's reach out to them as board members, if not today, in the near future, and see how we can help them with their journey. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to John Mark Butler to make our first presentation.
All right. Our first recipient posted this Bible verse on their Facebook page, Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. In the last 3 years, the River of Life Missions has shined the light in our community. River of Life is a 5-day mission project in Dublin, Lawrence County, where students and adults come together to assist those in need with home improvement projects. I could probably need to sign up for that, but I'm sure I could get you to work with me and pay you some money. If I could figure that out too. I would appreciate that. We need to talk. The purpose of River of Life, and this is what I love, is to express the love of Christ beyond the walls of the local church, strengthening the volunteers in their Christian walk, and break down racial and economic barriers. Our community is fortunate for missions coordinator from Pine Forest United Methodist Church, Josh Eccles, for being involved at a young age with River of Life Missions in his local community. He wanted to share those experiences with those in need in Dublin, Georgia. His passion and leadership led to the start of the organization in July of 2018 with 3 local churches and 50 volunteers. In 2019, it grew to 8 churches and 150 volunteers. And unfortunately, I know with the COVID-19, this month they would be doing this program as well, and they were unable to do that. But I'm sure, I hadn't had a chance to talk to them, but I'm sure the numbers were probably at least the same or higher. So when you watch the photos and videos on their Facebook page of our local youth working and worshiping together, you realize how much that week is promoting our youth to have a servant's heart of Dublin, for Dublin. I love their logo on their t-shirt. It says #LoveDub. I need to get one of those. The Exchange Club promotes Americanism, recognition of outstanding youth, and community service. River of Life Dublin does a great job focusing on our youth to lift others up in our community. It is my honor, on behalf of the Dublin Exchange Club Charitable Foundation, to award River of Life Dublin this monetary donation to continue your efforts in the community. Come up, please, Josh. Give him a round of applause.
Like you said, River of Life is a program that I was involved in as a high school student. The first River of Life began in 1990 in Lincolnton, Georgia. I participated in one in Jones County where we'd have about 200 students, and we would have churches from all over come to stay at our church and participate in this project where we would roof houses or build wheelchair ramps or replace siding or paint or landscape. Landscaping is actually the worst crew to be on if you ever want to participate, because they work harder than anybody, it seems like. And so when I came to Dublin and was here, we saw the same need, and the leaders of the Habitat Board and some other members at Pine Forest jumped on board, and we started one here in Dublin. And our goal from the get-go was to never have to bring in a church from outside of Lawrence County to participate in this event, because there's enough churches here and enough followers of Jesus here that we could accomplish this goal. And we set out the first year and we advertised for homeowners to apply to be a part, and we had almost 85 applications or something like that came in. And like I said, we had 3 churches. There was no way we were going to get close to that. And so the second year, we didn't even advertise for applications for homeowners because we had enough from the year before. But they have not slowed down coming in. They come in every year, and these people are people who own their home. They're not allowed to sell it within so many years of us completing the project, because the work that we do for them is free. We work strictly off of donations and volunteer hours, and we are student-led. The majority of our volunteers are students and adults. Teach them the skills, and that's really, there's several goals with River of Life. One is to reach the people in our community who need help. The second one is to teach and train students and young adults how to work with their hands and how to grow in skills that they may not know otherwise. And you'd be amazed at some of the stories of kids who've fallen in love with construction through what we are doing. And so that's one of our other goals. And the other goal is just to activate the church, to move beyond the walls of the church, to participate in mission. And so that's our goal. We were supposed to have our retreat 2 weeks ago, and we're actually, the coronavirus has backed us up, but the middle of July versus December, which is when we hope to do it on Christmas break for the students, the weather's going to be a lot different. So we're actually excited about that, I think, because it won't be 110 degrees outside. It'll be probably 80. So hopefully, just be praying that this whole virus thing will move forward and we can kind of move on with this mission. And we have projects that are still coming in that we prepare to do, and all kinds of things. But I just thank you guys so much for this donation and for your participation. And if you want to join in any other way, we look for adults all the time who can help lead these crews, because the students need to learn how to do it. So we try to, our goal for every retreat is to have teams of 5 to 7 kids with 2 to 3 adults who can teach them how to do this work. So if you're handy or know how to use a paintbrush or know how to pull weeds or anything like that, please get in touch with us at Pine Forest or your church. We had 10 churches this year from Lawrence County who were going to participate. So I would imagine most of your churches are involved. If not, I would say talk to your youth pastor and say you need to get in touch and be a part of this mission. So, but thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Darren Keene with Clements & Keene Insurance. If you own a business with less than 50 employees, we have things that are available to help you qualify for group health insurance with many discounts. These discounts did not exist 6 months ago. This is available through the Georgia Chamber Smart Plan. It's backed by Blue Cross Blue Shield. If you're a member of your local Chamber of Commerce, or if you're contemplating becoming a member, give us a call. Clements & Keene Insurance, your health insurance specialist, 272-8019.
Mid-State Pools and Spas knows pools, in-ground pools to above-ground pools. Mid-State Pools and Spas has over 35 years in the industry, building over 3,000 pools. We build all of our own pools, never subcontracting the work out. So if you're ready to build a pool, renovate a pool, or if you need weekly maintenance or liner replacement with a full 20-year warranty, call the professionals at Mid-State Pools and Spas. Visit our showroom today at 2273 Veterans Boulevard in Dublin and see the new line of Marquee Spas. For the ultimate in hot tub experiences, choose Marquee Spas. Also see our new selection of casual patio furniture, available now at our showroom, Mid-State Pools and Spas, where we know pools.
Thank you, John, Mark, Chuck. Y'all have done a great job. This has been one of the easiest and nicest committees that I've ever been involved with. It's been the only committee I've been involved in, but it's been pretty nice. The famous words of Jim Shackelford, it's a great day to be an exchange agent, because today we're giving away money. Carte blanche. Money, our collective efforts of our parade, of our the Christmas parade, the pancake dinner, the gun raffle, all this is coming to fruition today. We earn this money simply to just give it away to others who are spreading goodwill in the community. People that are benevolent, people who have kindness in their heart, nonprofit organizations. So every one of these deserve it. I looked through the list of everybody, and I'm so proud that every one of these have been recipients from us. So today, I'm going to pass along to one of our recipients. This person doesn't need an introduction. Everybody knows him. James Deal, TV 35. Everybody knows who he is. We're going to get him up here in just a minute. What you don't know is that James had an epiphany a while back, and then that turned into a vision, that turned into a mission that is now, today, bearing fruit. As a matter of fact, just this week, this month, it's bearing fruit. He's got one of the first small houses, looking to buy 2 or 3 more. James will tell you about that in just a little bit. And I'm going to get James to come up here and tell you a little bit more. He can toot this horn better than I can. So James, come up here. We've got a check for you. Here we go. I'm so proud to present this to you on behalf of the Dublin Exchange Club and Foundation to the City of Hope Homeless Shelter. So much more than just a shelter. It's a lot more than just handing out a can of soup and a blanket. He's going to tell you more about it. James?
Thank you. We sure live in a great community. Josh, you talked about COVID, but it has not slowed them down. It has not slowed us down. I got a call the first few weeks after all this happened and said, James, what are we going to do? I mean, this coronavirus, we can't do anything. I said, we have to keep moving forward. And if you told me 5 years ago that I'd be doing what I am today, I'd told you were absolutely crazy. Because my wife and I had plans. I'm 60 years old now. We wanted to travel and we got things we want to accomplish. Well, God changed those plans. And when God speaks to you and ordains a mission, you change all those plans. And I thank God today that He showed me this, because being in the business I am, I travel around the community all day, and I kept seeing these people, homeless people, and I talked to business all the time. And I surveyed downtown Dublin one day. I just started on the corner at the Henry Building and just took off down the street and come back up the other side asking questions about homeless people. And they said, James, every morning they're here. They're wanting water. They're wanting to go to the bathroom. And so we put together this 501c3 organization about 2 years ago, City of Hope. And it is not a handout. We are transforming people's lives. That's what we're doing. We are teaching, this month we've housed 3 families in permanent housing. We started out, this is not what I had planned, but we all know, and I heard Josh, and it rings true to all of us, our plans aren't always God's plans, and He will reroute us sometime. We wanted to build a homeless shelter. Well, God had other plans, and we may have a homeless shelter one day, but right now we're putting families in permanent housing. We're teaching them budgets. We're showing them how to do budgets. We're helping them get jobs. We're helping them pay bills. And I'm telling you, I have cried more this past month than I've probably cried in years. Not tears of sadness, but tears of joy. When you see a 1-year-old child that's been living in a car, that's never had a home, lay down in that little baby bed and pull that cover under her head, I can't even describe it to you, the feeling that you have by seeing this. And so many people, and these other organizations can tell you, so many people will give money, and I thank you for this money today. And I'm telling you, anybody that knows me, a lot of people call me a tightwad. I'm really just frugal. And especially, I speak at a lot of churches, and we're in great financial shape because of people like you and the churches in this community. We have wonderful churches. And when I say that, is like you heard a minute ago, that's not these buildings. If the tornado come through today and tore down every church building in this county, the church has not been torn down. We are the church. And I am very frugal. And one thing, and me and my wife never argue. Now, we have some intense fellowship every now and then. And we go out and we buy a lot from Teen Challenge. And we buy used furniture to furnish these houses that we put these people in. And you know, the women in the room, y'all know what I mean. Y'all want to buy all this stuff, all these different things. I'm trying to get the necessities. So we debate that, and she's going to see this on TV because she does a lot of editing for us, so I'm telling on myself. But, you know, they're homeless, and we want to give them the necessities. And we are putting them in different places around the community. But thank God we just put our first homeless man in a tiny home. And this man, 2 months ago, was dying from internal bleeding. And to tell you the kind of community, and I'm preaching to the choir here, but Fairview Park Hospital agreed to help us with this man. And they did surgery on him and saved his life through indigent pay. When we got him out, they told me, they said, James, if you put him back on the street, he's going to die. I said, well, he's not going on the street. So I have a deal with a local motel till we can get him in permanent housing. And he has a colostomy bag. He's had a stroke. He's in very bad shape. But these are the people, and nobody would help him. So the people we're helping are falling through the cracks. These are people that can't get Medicaid, can't get food stamps until we get them, and then we have the connections. And just real quickly, the way we do things, we transform their lives. If you don't want to work, if you don't want to go to church like the guy we just housed, he said, James, this paperwork says I got to be in church every time the doors are open. I said, that's right, we're a Christian-based organization. And what we're trying to do more than anything in the world is we want to add to the kingdom of God. And one of my favorite hymns we sang it Sunday, is when we all get to heaven. And all I can imagine, when we all get to heaven and we're visiting with the River of Life and ABC Women's Clinic and Healthy Start and all these organizations, and we see people walk up and say, do you remember me? I was living under the bridge. And y'all got me out and put me in a house and helped me find Jesus Christ. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, that's all we want to accomplish. We have to do these other things because if you quote scripture to lost people when their stomach's hungry and they don't have a house, they're living down the railroad track over there in East Dublin, they don't hear nothing you're saying. But just like Jesus did when he was on earth, God didn't send his son to earth to be a superstar. He sent him to serve. He taught his disciples to serve, and he taught us to serve. And that's what we're to do. Proverbs 19:17 says, to give to the poor is a lend to the Lord, and he will reward you greatly. What an awesome scripture. First of all, God don't need our money. But he tells us in his word that if we give to the poor and the needy, that's a loan to him, and he will reward us greatly. And as Mickey and Gene and I were talking over there earlier, one of my favorite scriptures is in Matthew 25 when he tells us, whatever you did to the least of my brethren, you did to me. And that's what I see and even though coronavirus, I'm still hugging these people, I'm still loving these people, I'm still praying with these people, and we're going to keep on doing it because if you're doing God's work, he's going to protect you. And if I do die from coronavirus, I'm even better off than any of you sitting here today, trust me. Because we'll be able to spend all of eternity with Jesus Christ. And all these other people I got questions for, like Paul and Moses and all these other people I really want to talk to. But what a great feeling it is to know that we're out here with people like all over this community. And we do. And the thing about our station, we look for the best in our community. And anybody that's familiar with TV 35, we don't run all the car wrecks and all these other things negative about our community. We want to talk about what's good in our community. And what y'all are doing today, this Exchange Club, y'all are a part of what's good in this community. And I thank you so much.
Attitude is built into every bad boy mower that comes off this line.
We don't just outmow the competition, we outlast them. Bad boys are built heavier than they have to be to last a lifetime. Combine our revolutionary off-road 3-link suspension system, all-steel construction, and legendary bad boy power with everything else you'd expect from a bad boy for a price you probably wouldn't. We never stop working to give you more innovation, more performance, more fun.
Bad boy, mow with an attitude.
Cullen Supply and Engine Service, 910 East Jackson Street in Dublin and 826 South Harris, Sandersville.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dustin Gay. I'm a local orthopedic surgeon with Houston Clinic Orthopedics, and we'd really like to invite everybody to come out to our new office facility to take a look at it. It's a larger space with physical therapy, and we're just excited to have it, and we'd love for people to come out and visit us.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
I've been in here. I didn't realize I had signed the proclamation that long ago. I've been in the club since '94. I think I was 12 when I joined the club, so that was the youngest exchange I'd ever. But I would challenge you guys sitting out here. As you saw that, if I joined in '94 and I was president in '99, that's a 5-year time frame. and I was treasurer and secretary. I went up through the ranks and stuff until last year when Sam Bell called me to 30-minute notice to put me on this board. There's nothing touched me more than being on this board. And if you've been in this club a long time and you hadn't done it, I know Kenny and Guy and a lot of y'all have done this. Roger, myself, Darren, Brad. It touched me more than anything I've done for Exchange Ite, for being an Exchange Ite. As far as personally, and I agree with Darren, I lead a very blessed life. I've got great kids, great mom and dad, and great wife, and just very, very blessed. And I took a lot for granted until you sit down and you interview these students that we didn't get to this year because of the virus. But you look at what James said, you look at what Josh said with these organizations. I knew very little about what Josh and them do, but when Kenny Philanders and Rob Cook came up to me and said, hey, these guys are deserving, I said, man, this is what it's about. My pleasure today for Promise of Hope, and I'm going to try to be fast because I know we're running short on time. I've got two people from Promise of Hope. The Women's Center is located in Dudley, Georgia. Started in 1999, same year the proclamation was signed. The men's shelter or center is located in Cochran, where we have a bank over there. It started in 2011. This is an addiction-based recovery system. You don't have to have $1 zillion. They're not out to make money. They're strongly supported by donations like we're doing today, and they're strongly supported by a lot of golf tournaments and stuff like that. So I'm going to call Nicole Upshaw and Chris Russ to come up here, and I'm going to let them do the talking for what they do. If y'all would come up. One's from the Women's Center here in Dudley, and the other's from the Men's Center. So somewhere the check is. I'm going to go ahead.
Need that. So as you said, my name is Chris Russ. I'm a program manager over at the men's facility in Cochran. The Cochran facility opened in 2011. We are a nonprofit, which means that we get to help save people's lives through Jesus Christ. We keep the state out of it so we can do it our way, which is the way we found to be the best. Couple of things I wanted to say. 1 in 4 people know somebody personally affected by the disease of addiction, either themselves, one of their family members, or a friend of a family member. And drug overdose is getting to be the leading cause of death for anyone under the age of 45. So it's very real and it's very close. So I'm proud to be in the fight against it with the help of groups like this. Y'all have continued to help us out, and we really appreciate it. Getting to keep our doors open, especially through the whole COVID-19. We are considered essential. Nobody stopped doing drugs because COVID-19 came around. We've been able to keep our doors open. Even though our numbers have been down, we've still been able to run, and we're very blessed for that. And it's from help from people like y'all that have been able to. We've been able to do that. We do have another golf tournament coming up. I'm sure there's some links lovers out there. It's going to be at Uchi Trail in Cochran on August 1st. You can call our offices to get any information you'd like on that. And let Nicole talk a little bit about the Women's Center.
I'm Nicole. I'm from the Promise of Hope Dudley, and I am the program manager over there and also a certified addiction counselor. We too are having a golf tournament. It's supposed to be in May, but it's going to be September the 19th at Riverview. We are a faith-based 12-step program because some of us could get it in church, some of us could get it in AA or NA, but some of us couldn't get it in one or the other. We had to get it together, So we do deal with families. We have family education the second and the fourth Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30 out there at the Dudley campus. You don't have to have somebody in the program to come if you want to come and get some education. We do work on the disease concept. So, these women and men come to us, they're broken. A lot of them are homeless. We don't make a lot of money. We do have some grace beds available that we try and help at least the local people. Sometimes, we can help people outside of Dublin, outside of Lawrence County with the grace bed if possible. We do have them go to work within the first couple of weeks, depending on how many treatment facilities they've been in or if they've come from jail. Because some people can do treatment over and over and over again. I was one of those. But until you've hit your bottom, you're not going to get this, and you're not going to know which way to turn, and which way to turn is to look up. We come in, we have people come in that don't know God, that don't. The God they know is is a punishing God, you know, and we teach them that God's not a punishing God. You know, yes, there are consequences in the Bible. We also have consequences for our residents. You know, if you don't do your chore 3 or 4 times, you're going to get a consequence. You know, you might have to pick weeds, or you might have to write something 100 times. You know, we go all the way up to, you know, taking families away from you sometimes, because when you come in and all you're worried about is, I need to see my child, I need to see my mom, I need to see my husband, because we've taken the dope away from you, the one thing you're going to go back to is your family. And until you can learn to do this for you, you're not going to do it. You know, you can come in, you can stay 12 months, be the best resident ever, but you're going to be the first one to hit the liquor store when you leave property. You know, so you just have to learn. We teach the families what to look for, because y'all are bad enablers of us. You know, and we've made y'all sicker than we are. And I know that sounds crazy that y'all are sicker, but y'all are, because we've made y'all that way. So when we learn to get better, and we learn how to be honest, because that's how you get better. You have to learn to be honest about the little things, doing a chore, versus the big things, you know, seeing somebody that you used to use with come through your drive-through at work. You know, they work fast food jobs, McDonald's, KFC, wherever in Dublin, Dairy Queen, because they know our program. You know, they do classes throughout the week. They do meetings outside. Chris works late 3 nights a week, I think. I work late 2 nights a week, because we want to be there for these residents. If they're at work during the day, they're not getting anything but work. They're not getting any recovery. You know, that's what separates Promise of Hope from other recovery residences. We care about the residents. We want them to learn to love God and love Jesus the way we love God, and be the mothers, the daughters, the sons, the husbands, the wives, the brothers, whatever. Because that's what God intended, was to put these families back together again. Thank you.
Hurry home. Boys, we gotta go. Oh, we're racing. Let's see what you got, boys. Not today, boys. Hey, I got your text. What's the emergency?
What text? Where is my phone? Oh, I think River wanted to play.
Quality products and installation since 1985. That's 4 Seasons.
I get the opportunity to go ahead and present the next award, and that's to an agency that's been here since 1991, and we'll hit that in just a minute. But you know, and Darren spoke just a minute ago, and Chuck also said how blessed we are, many of us, without even really taking the time to think about it. The older I get, the more I reflect on the many things that I have taken for granted and the things for which I'm truly grateful. You look at families, you look at the examples of what your fathers and mothers gave, and to us who are fathers and mothers in this room, how that's enabled us to be the fathers and mothers we should be. The organization that we're going to be presenting next is a situation where a lot of the abuse comes from the home. And I'm going to let Ms. Austin come up now and say a few things about Wings. It is not a new entity here for this area. Wings got its beginning in 1991. We all know what Wings stands for, Women in Need of God's Shelter. And that's a little bit self-explanatory, but Ms. Austin, if you will, Sharon Austin is the is the assistant or associate director here. And we also have with her Faith Bishop, who is a client associate. But let me turn it over to you and say a few things more.
It's always grateful to be able to represent our agency. It's been in existence since 1991, and the history behind that, it was actually a local church within our community who found, and a local doctor who actually had a woman to come into his practice who had some unexplained bruises on her. And after investigations, found out that this lady was a victim of domestic violence. So some money was raised, some land was donated, and fortunately, since 1991, our agency has been in existence. We do serve several counties outside of Lawrence County, Johnson, Dodge, Bleckley, Wilcox, and Telfair counties. Another service that you may not know that we do provide the legal advocacy, and that's when an individual who is seeking a TPO, a temporary protective order, and it's a civil order where that family or the individual can come to court and state that you are being harassed or stalked by this individual and you need to permanently get away from that individual. We do not only serve women, we serve men as well in that capacity. Fortunately, our length of stay is anywhere from 30 to 90 days within our agency. And that's during that time, a lot of work goes on. We are actually seeking the community for housing applications. We're filling out housing applications. If an individual needs some type of therapy, we're calling community mental health. We're calling private therapists to assist these families. With the money that the donation has been awarded to our agency, we're able to participate in our family activities. That's where that money will be used to provide our family support. So think about it, things that we may take for granted, something as small as going to Dairy Queen and getting our children an ice cream. I understand that I'm hearing a common thing of possibly not knowing how sometimes the other side lives. But going to Dairy Queen, we provide them with opportunities at Easter, Christmas activities. We also provide small field trips. We can take those families out. Something as simple as going to the pond at the hospital, feeding the ducks, or things that, just everyday things that you and I have been awarded that privilege. These families do not. Another part of that, the money will be used for our SAFE curriculum, and that's Strong African American Families. And this is a curriculum from the University of Georgia that was established by some local professors in that community. And that community has decided that the African American families have certain needs that we need to deal with, and it is basically it's a 7-week curriculum that our agency wants to institute for the people that we serve. So we are very fortunate for the Exchange Club, and thank you for your tremendous work, and thank you for your donation to our agency.
I'm here to introduce Tracy Kinney. She is no stranger to the club. She brought a guest with her. I don't have a whole lot to say about her husband, Chris. Oh, Bucky, you came with her? Should have left him at home. I know we're real tight on time. Habitat for Humanity started about 40 years ago in Americus, Georgia. They're working on their 41st home here locally. And I'm going to let you explain about this young lady and the situation that she is in. Come on up here, Tracy.
I know we're running short on time, so I did have the privilege of speaking at Exchange Club just before COVID hit, so a lot of you know the update on Habitat and where we are. We finished our 40th house in December and had plans to begin our 41st in September, but like everyone, COVID has hit. But as Mr. James said, we're going to keep doing what we do. That's not going to stop us, so we still have plans. The homeowner has 4 children, and one has cerebral palsy, and he's a teenager, and she's a little bit more vertically physically challenged than I am, and so he's gotten very heavy, very large, and it's very hard for her to move him around. So our goal is, for the first time in the history of our habitat, try to build a house that accommodates his needs with a railing system, and so it's going to be a bigger project with more to do. And I spoke to you about our need, and so we're just very appreciative that that we're here and that you guys are helping us. I'm listening to all of the programs, and I can remember when Josh and Jordan moved to town, they were our new youth ministers, we were the youth coordinators, and Josh talked to me about River of Life, and he was like, this is what we do. And I was like, do you know how many phone calls I have with Habitat that I can't help because they don't need a new house, they just need help with an existing house. So I can feed you everybody I have. So in working with Josh, we have River of Life he ran with River of Life. So it's been a blessing to be a part of both programs and see the people in our community. Like Mr. James said, there's a whole group of people that fall through a hole that don't get the help that they need, but they need it, but they're willing to work for it. And so I think that's what all of our programs have in common, is that they're not a handout, they're a hand up. And we're teaching these people how to help themselves, not just giving them things. So I'm honored to be in this room with everyone, and I just want to thank y'all for the money, because we can't do what we do without money, unfortunately, and we appreciate y'all's support. Thank you.
Well, it's hard to follow that, and I just want to say huge congratulations to everybody we were able to honor today. You guys are doing the hard work. I mean, you're out there, every day in the trenches. One thing that kept going through my mind as I was listening to all these organizations is every one of them had a center theme behind it, and that was faith and God and just a willingness to give back to others. And that's one reason. About 2 months ago, the Exchange Club was sitting here, and just so y'all kind of know how we led into this moment, we typically have these awards at the end of June. We didn't get to have our pancake supper. We had actually pre-sold some tickets, so we were able to take a little bit of the money from the pre-sales, and we got together as a board and we said we really still want to have our foundation awards if at all possible. So we kind of went out and took a leap of faith ourselves and said we want to donate this money to the foundation in order to do this, because of all organizations right now, I know nonprofits probably are having some of the toughest times with money being tight. So I want to say a big thank you to the board of the foundation who got this together really quickly. I called Darren and Chuck especially and said, you guys, see if you can get this together. We took nominations. And so I just want to say a huge congratulations. One thing, when James was speaking, when I was a kid, there was a song in church people used to sing. It said, thank you for giving to the Lord. It said, I'm a life that was changed. And it talked about a man sitting there in heaven, like you said, people coming up to him and saying, you don't remember me, but you changed me. And that's what you guys are doing every day. I'm sorry. And you don't realize it when you do it, but years after the fact, you realize, I've been involved with a few of these organizations. I've been involved in Habitat. You don't realize how that affects a child's life or someone's life, way down the line. So excuse me for getting emotional, but I just want to thank you guys again. With that being said, any Exchange-ites in the room, we do have a poll going on. We are considering trying to still put on our fall pancake supper, and I just want everybody to know we're not doing this to try to make a statement of raising money. We are kind of doing it as a community service event. If we can raise a little money to help with our programs above and beyond what we've already done, we would love to do that to be able to continue going back. So if you haven't seen our poll on Facebook, we're trying to poll the community to see if you guys would support a drive-through only pancake supper. There's no guilt either way. If you don't support it, we totally understand, and everybody has their own opinion. But go to our Facebook page, take our poll, let us know what you think. We are considering that, and we hope to make that decision here in the next upcoming weeks. Other than that, if you are being inducted next week as a board of directors member or as a officer of the club, or if you're rolling off as one of those, we are going to have our officer transition and board of director transition next week. Please try to be here. And then we will also plan on having our next business meeting the first Tuesday in August. So as I look around the room, again, thank you to everybody who was involved today. You guys made this happen in a fast manner. Thank you to all the award recipients for being here, and we just pray for you guys and congratulate you on the hard work that you put into our community. So if there's anything else to come before the club. Yes, we do want to get a picture, and we're going to do this as socially distant as possible as we can. We always make that statement. We try to make everybody comfortable. So if you guys would hang around for a moment over here on the sidewalk, we're going to grab a quick picture for the newspaper.
Jason, I brought some flyers. I couldn't go over everything that we do, but if you'd like to take one, please take one, and you can learn more about the organization.
Yes, please do that. And feel free to reach out to any of the, I know everybody needs volunteers, so if you're not involved in anything, whether it be on their board of directors, just going out on a weekend and volunteering, please do that and get in touch with these people. All right, nothing else to come before the club. Gentlemen, what is our motto?
Community service.